everyone, this is Herrick bringing you another episode of Action Figure This Out. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series, Red Ninja. Now I picked this guy up off of Facebook Marketplace along with Flint, and I'm glad to have more ninjas in my G.I. Joe collection, and I'm definitely going to have to pick up more of these guys because this figure is amazing. Before we get started, we're just going to take a quick look at the packaging. On the front, you're going to see the figure through the window, along with all his accessories, alright? He comes with a pair of scythes, a sword, a long sword with a long handle, a pair of sickles, and a pair of hatchets. Alright, it says G.I. Joe Classified Series at the bottom, Red Ninja underneath that. On the side, you're going to see the number for this figure, that's 08, and then you're going to see it says Red Ninja at the top over here. On the back, you're going to see a movie poster-like picture of the Cobras and Joes together, and I really love the artwork that they have on this. Again, with all their figures, it looks absolutely amazing. There's all the characters that you could ever need. Here's the Red Ninjas over here. You got Gung Ho, Destro, Duke. It's just amazing. Alright, on the side, you're going to see a continuation of that picture on the front. You can see the Red Ninja up here. On the top, you're going to see the number for this figure, that's 08. And when I purchased this figure off the person on Facebook, he put a slash through my barcode, so I can't show you the entire barcode, but here's most of it. Alright, so let's action figure this out and take a look at this figure out of the packaging. Slice and his partner Dice first came into contact with Cobra and G.I. Joe when a man calling himself the Red Ninja Master contacted them and called them and a number of Red Ninjas, renegade members of the Arashikage clan, into Cobra's silent castle in Transcarpathia. The Master displayed an in-depth knowledge of many of the Arashikage fighting techniques and convinced the other ninjas of his identity. Since Cobra Commander hadn't used the castle for years, Slice, Dice, and the Red Ninjas easily ventured into the castle, and Dice was surprised when Destro and the Baroness arrived at the castle after Destro had been given the castle by Cobra Commander. When Slice, Dice, and the other ninjas attacked Destro, they discovered Joes had been watching, including Ninja Force. After a long battle, the ninjas escaped the castle into the wilderness with Ninja Force close behind. After Snake Eyes defeated Slice in a duel to settle their dispute, the Red Ninja Master arrived and revealed himself to be Firefly. The mercenary had fooled the ninjas, and after a brief fight, ambushed both groups of ninjas with his bats, the Battle Android Troopers, and knocked them out with gas. He used Cobra's brainwave scanner to turn Slice and the others into brainwashed slaves and headed to Cobra Island, long since unoccupied by Cobra. The Ninja Force eventually broke free, but Slice, Dice, and the Red Ninjas remained under his control for a time. So before we get started, let's just take a quick look at the height of this figure. So, in inches, the Red Ninja stands at 6.5 inches, which roughly equates to something of around 16.5 centimeters tall. So right away, I'm just going to say that this figure is great. Now, I do believe that this is a reuse of the Snake Eyes 02 body, the 00 body, and the Snake Eyes and Timber body. But that's a pretty decent body. It's a really decent mold to use. So, it's a really great mold that, even though it is a reuse, it's still amazing. Now, the only difference is that it's red and he has a shoulder piece that gives him some extra personality. As you can see, yes, the head is different, alright? He has a cool mask, but his shoulder piece has this collar around his neck, which is pretty decent, alright? He also has the sash, alright, with some ninja stars just like Storm Shadow, alright? Now, I think that the accessories, all of these things that he comes with, are the accessories, same ones that came with the 00 Snake Eyes Deluxe figure, which is really decent for anybody who hasn't picked that up. He can holster most of his weapons on him as well, which is really decent. He comes with this piece that you can put on his back, and from there you can holster his weapons. Alright, so this, well, let's go over the accessories first. This figure comes with this back piece that you insert onto his back. He comes with a long sword with a long handle. He comes with a sword, just a regular sword. He comes with a pair of sickles. So this is pretty decent. He comes with a pair of scythes. And I like the detail. There's kind of like a hexagon shape at the pommel of his scythe, if you look really close. So that's a nice little detail I really like. And he comes with a pair of hatchets. So it's really detailed. I like it a lot. So like I said before, you can holster all of his weapons. So on his back here, you can put his scythe. Alright, his back, you can put his long sword. No, I don't think this fits. I think this one is a better fit. Yeah, so you can also put his tonfas, no, his sickles in his back. So like this, and like this. And for his long sword, you can put it in his belt. So pretty much you can holster everything, except you're going to be left with two extra things. So the ones I'm left with is these hatchets. So I'm just going to put them in his hands right now. So like any good G.I. Joe, you can holster all of his accessories. Alright, so that's a really decent touch. I like it a lot. So the pair of scythes you can put into his hands, and his hatchets you can leave in his hands, and his sickles you could put in the back. So this is a really good army builder. So if you get a bunch of red ninjas, then you'll be left with a lot of extra accessories and weapons. The head sculpt for this guy is immaculate. Alright, if you take a closer look, it's extremely well built, well sculpted. That mask looks pretty badass. It kind of reminds me of Scorpion's mask. Alright, and I really like the detail of this mask and headband and hood. Now, it does look pretty badass, and I'm definitely going to have to see if I could pick up more of these guys, but they are somewhat hard to find because everyone's been army building them. But I'm definitely glad to have picked this guy up. Alright, so now that we've taken a closer look at this guy, let's take a look at his articulation. So, for this, I'm going to take off all his accessories. So I'm going to take the scythes off. I'm going to take his sword out. Take out his hatchets. Alright, so in his neck and head, he has a dumbbell joint. And he also has a dumbbell joint at the bottom of his neck as well. So together, you can get tons of rotation out of it, all right? You can get him looking up this far. You can get him looking down this far. You can get him looking side to side in a 360 fashion. And he has a little bit of tilt, all right? Utilizing both the bottom of his neck and the top of his neck, you can get him leaning side to side this much. It's pretty decent. He has a butterfly joint in his shoulder, which gives you the ability to go in and out this far. All right, he has a hinge in his arm, his shoulder, which gives you 90 degrees. He can go forward, he can go all the way back. He's only going to be hindered by this shoulder piece over here. He has an upper bicep cut, which gives you full 360 degree rotation. All right, he has a double jointed pinned elbow, which gives you a little over 90 degrees. And he has a vertical hinge, which gives you the ability to hinge up this far, hinge down, and you can rotate full 360 degrees. All right, he has an ab crunch, which when you go forward, he can go forward this far. He can go back this far. All right, so that's a pretty decent amount. And he has a ball joint, a ball peg in, I think it's a single ball peg at his waist, which you can rotate full 360 degrees. All right, you can get him leaning forward this much. You can get him leaning back this much. You can get him leaning side to side. All right, he has some drop down to hips. So when you drop him down, okay, you can get him to do full splits. All right, he can kick forward this much. So that's decent. Kick back this much. And he has an upper thigh cut, which gives you full 360 degree rotation. All right, he has a double jointed pinned knee, which utilizing both joints, he can almost kick his own ass. All right, he has an upper boot cut, which gives him full 360 degree rotation. He has a hinge in his ankle, which gives you the ability to kick back this far, kick up this much, and he has a forward facing pin for a rocker. So that's really decent. This figure is heavily articulated and just works well for a ninja character. Works really well. Alright, so let's get these accessories back on him. No, put his size in first. Alright. So, now that we've taken a closer look at his articulation, let's take a look at how he compares with other figures. Alright, so here we have the Red Ninja standing next to a few Cobra enemies. We have the Crimson Bat and the Cobra Viper. Alright, and here we have him standing next to Storm Shadow and Cobra Commander. Alright, and here we have him standing next to a few Arashikage figures. We have the 02 edition of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe Origins. So I think that's going to be about it for today. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Action Figure This Out, where we took a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series, Red Ninja. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews of your favorite action figures as well. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite person in the Arashikage Ninja Clan? Again, this is Herrick with Action Figure This Out, signing off.